Artemis.
Yeah?
No, no.
Can I help you? Can I help you?
You remember all the Ted Cruz videos that are going around at whatever conference he was at?
Yeah, I can't believe he said all of those things about the kulaks. It's unbelievable.
I'm 80% certain, without looking it up first, that those videos were taken at the July 20th CPAC Israel event.
Nice. Good international brand building. CPAC is taking like the NFL stance towards other locations.
I love how weird it is in here. It's like CPAC Israel, CPAC Texas, CPAC
Yeah.
Mexico,
So,
CPAC Australia.
are we
CPAC
drafting?
Japan.
Are we drafting for our CPAC fantasy league like now, or do we have to wait later in the season?
Listen, like obviously there's a larger pool in the U.S., but there are a lot of hidden gems when
All
you
right.
explore the foreign market.
All right, for
like
my-
the conservative rules overseas are of course a little bit different, but their dedication to the game is just as strong as
For
anyone
my
else.
for my quarterback, I'm grabbing Netanyahu.
So fortunately, they didn't turn the big star in CPAC Israel into the Star of David. but
Good.
They
Small progress.
Where
but
did they
put
put it,
the
Zach?
Star of David in the negative space on the A in CPAC.
That's right. Israel is indeed the a-hole of CPAC. I agree.
Jesus Christ.
By the way, for the record, let it be shown, my first pick is the former Hungarian prime minister.
Viktor
who talked-
Orban?
Yeah, who said like he wanted an ethnically pure Hungary, which like no such thing actually exists if my understanding of Hungary is accurate. So
You can be Hungarian or you can be pure. Pick one.
it's a dirty mixed race people.
Okay,
Won't
I
be-
wasn't gonna say that.
Fine. They're lesser than because of where they live, not because of who they are. Is that an accurate statement?
Racism against Hungarians. Borderline. It's borderline.
Pushing it.
It's questionable.
Racism
CPAC
against French, of course, fine, no problem. Italians, of course. Hungary, you're starting to get to the edge, Kelton.
Yeah.
Gotta be careful.
exactly. CPAC Japan. I'm just surprised it's not the Rising Sun logo behind the CPAC.
Our
Just,
guest for,
Imperial Japan.
Our guest for CPAC 1937, Emperor Hirohito himself, to talk about family values.
I was going to say a strong return, indeed. Surprisingly, just a lot of hatred towards the Chinese on CPAC Japan. No, I wonder why. No historical data would back that up.
Yeah, it's definitely telling that they have CPAC Japan and CPAC Korea.
South
but-
Korea, come on.
Yes, CPAC,
CPAC
South
North
Korea.
Korea
Sorry.
would be amazing.
I would go to that one.
I would, in a heartbeat. Yeah, I would sell my soul to go there. Aha.
Your Seoul. I'm surprised they don't have a CPAC Hong Kong, but I'm sure that one's coming. They do have a CPAC Mexico, though.
I mean,
Are they trying? Do they? What?
trying to get
These
the
logos
Latin
are
flavor.
almost tasteful. Like they have like the eagle and the C on the end. Then like there's like
Are you saying
some
it's tasteful
Mexican
because
flag
the
background
quasi-fascist organization is including an eagle in their iconography?
It's like, listen, it's like South by Southwest, but if everybody there was like a little bit weird about mixed race couples.
That's just Coachella.
That's gay couples.
Okay. Gotcha. Coachella's the straight one. Cisgella?
Cisgella.
Yeah. God, this is who signs up? Just looking at the like upcoming events, CPAC Hungary. Like I thought this was just an American thing. I didn't realize that we were exporting arms to Ukraine and
Okay.
then also our conservative organizations.
Call me incredibly ignorant here, but it looks like what the logo design they were doing for CPAC Hungary is like the rejected model they had for either CPAC Mexico or CPAC Italy. So
They ran out of ideas.
yeah, they just like slap the flag over it It'll be fine. Like everyone else, like Brazil, there's some care and thought into it. Florida gets a palm tree.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, CPAC Korea is KCPAC, like K-pop, but they just have to add the K in front of it.
BTS performed. They also expressed some rather concerning views on when life begins.
Yeah, Ted Cruz tried to get out there and dance with them. He has been on an undetermined hiatus since then. We think he pulled something while he was trying to do some of the moves, but he tried. 1 point to Ted Cruz for
Ted Cruz
trying.
actually, fun fact, used to be a paparazzi for several K-pop girls groups. Pretty sure I saw him taking pictures of one at that coffee shop in Seoul.
CPAC Texas just having the oil rig logo in the background.
Drill, baby, drill.
Yeah, it's again like.
Is there a CPAC Minnesota?
No, of course not.
No, it's Texas and Florida. That's it.
Yeah, where are the two strongholds of conservative thought right now? It's in Texas, and where our future president is going to be, Florida with DeSantis. That's right. I'm still staying loyal to him. He's my pick, baby.
I think
Number
we should
one.
run. I think we should run Mondale again.
Is it going to be DeSantis Cruz?
Absolutely
God!
Not,
oh
no.
God!
I want you to think deep in your soul. Like DeSantis will stoop low. Of course, he's an awful human being. But he is not a cuck. And he
Ted
knows
Cruz.
the energy that Ted Cruz brings and gives.
Chris Christie. I think you should run with Chris Christie. It's going to be DeSantis and running alongside one of the racist Sesame Street characters.
Psychic Dolphin Garage.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode from the Psychic Dolphin Garage. I'm Zach, he, they.
I'm Kelton, he, him.
And I'm Artemis. She, her.
Wow, I like that. That's really cool. By the
Mixing
way,
it up.
happy National Scotch Day, everyone. My voice cracked as I was saying that.
Scotch.
Scotch Day.
Hi. Yeah. No,
I was told it would
I
turn me
love
into a
alcohol.
man. When I've been
Komi-san,
smoking
why
this
are you-
cigar.
Why are you pouring all of that brown poison liquid into a shot glass?
Oh God.
Komi-san, is everything okay at work?
Fucking shooting scotch, Jesus Christ. Psychopath behavior.
Oh no.
I've been smoking cigars and drinking scotch, but it hasn't been working apparently. So, happy Scotch Day, everybody! I hope you have a nice bottle of scotch that you keep in your pantry, or whatever other poison you shorten your lifespan with.
I'm not just picturing like
Drywall.
a 13-year-old that has like terrible acne and liver spots. Like that's what they're going for.
Average British child after Brexit.
I mean,
I think you mean Steve Bannon at the age of 14.
oh
my
yeah,
God,
that's
Steve
true.
Bannon at the age of 4. That kid was evil out the womb.
Absolutely. We are always in Hell World, and Hell World continues. Apparently, the Choco Taco has been canceled.
Yes, R.I.P. The worst and most annoying person you know is posting about it. And the worst people on top of that are probably doing recurring bits and trying to build clout over the fact that Choco Taco has decided to discontinue itself. Yeah.
Perfect. Now that you have heard the This Week in Hell news, we're never going to talk about the Choco Taco again because
Yeah.
it is dead, just
With-
like the Choco Taco.
Yeah, when's the last time you thought of a Choco Taco, dear listener? This isn't at all like a massive publicity ploy on their part to create buzz for it, and then they're going to bring it back. So, no. This is for sure canceled. Absolutely. It's over.
Yeah. Don't worry. Pretty soon you'll be able to get a Mexican pizza and a Choco Taco.
I'm thinking we're reimagining everything. We're bringing it back to the focus groups. We're gonna do Choco fajitas now.
It's going to be a Choco Dia, okay?
Oh no, a chocodilla.
It's
Oh,
actually-
God.
you're
it's
gonna be
actual-
eating it and squeezing ice cream out all the edges on your
Yeah.
hands.
No,
It's
please.
actual tortillas this time.
I don't need Jill Biden comparing Hispanic voters to that, Zach. Please make it stop.
New Choco Taco, now with Finn.
That's the Ohio version.
Oh, God bless my country. Tis of thee, sweet land of fentanyl of the
This wasn't supposed to be a JJ Demon episode, but here we are.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. JJ Demon. Great news for Texas this week, because this is your Texas podcast. Alex Jones, guilty on all charges.
Hell yeah. I can't believe they finally got him.
He's going to be locked away for a long time after being issued default judgments after being issued default judgments after Gamble and a second judge in Connecticut determined that he was liable for all the charges because he didn't show up to any of the courtrooms or submit any of the paperwork that was asked of him.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess people who are probably seeing the headlines of, like, Alex Jones, oh, he's on trial now because it's in Texas. And it's like, well, yeah, but, like, now the actual trial is to figure out how much money he owes the families of Sandy Hook instead of, like, is he actually guilty or can he be held culpable for this, because like those were other trials that he decided not to show up for. So now they're like, all right, how much money do you owe these families?
Never show them your hand. Never show the deep state
I mean,
what you're holding.
The thing is, I'm looking at this, and all of the main debate is around, like, should this guy have to charge something? It seems like at this point, the answer is just to put the guy in prison for a bit.
No. He just pays money, Artemis. That's how it works in America.
But first of all, he doesn't have money.
Money
His
he definitely
company
has.
is
No,
bankrupt.
he definitely has money. No.
He is not a 16-year-old black man, Artemis. You cannot just throw that person in prison and then have the system work accordingly.
No. We've got the prisons for the white collar crimes where we can say he went to prison, and then our justice system can claim to work for a bit.
Isn't
Yeah,
that right,
it's,
Jeffrey Epstein? Huh?
hey,
Wink,
look.
wink, nudge, nudge.
Those white collar prisons are one of the 30% of Texas prisons that actually have central cooling. Actually have AC.
Ooh.
Because 70% of prisons in Texas do not have AC, and a lot of times it gets up to 110 degrees inside of them.
I'm just saying.
I got some bad news for those prisons. It's 110 degrees right now outside of the prison.
Even
So I can only imagine how bad it is on the inside
I'm
right now.
thinking even if he gets sent to like the worst prison in the state he's being tried in, that food is still gonna be better than the slop that he was pitching on his fucking show.
Okay, fine. What about this? The Sandy Hook victims take Alex Jones to Gitmo. All right? They get, just like an hour each with him, and then, whatever they feel is just punishment. Then no questions asked. They all fly back to the States, and Alex Jones does too, in a body bag, preferably, but, as best as he can.
I think he should have to swim back.
I like that better.
We should let the Cubans have him.
We should.
No, their healthcare system is better than ours. He'll
They,
survive.
No.
they could actually
God,
treat
no,
his. They could
that's
actually
true.
treat his mental health.
They might actually help him. That would be way worse.
Imagine.
Their doctors over there would like.
Imagine
Alex Jones.
Yeah.
I'm Alex Jones, and welcome to NPR Radio.
No,
Hi,
it would
my
be
name
Alex
is
Jones.
Alexander-
And welcome to the Unidad de Libertad. And I tell you, these globalists, they're running this fucking embargo. We are gonna take this shit down.
The global capitalists.
It's just the same way of talking, just somehow right.
We have a wonderful article from our favorite publication, the Texas Monthly, that is going to walk us through what was the first day of the Alex Jones jury
Selection.
Yeah,
Thank you.
because I'm sure as people are going to be seeing on Twitter, they're going to be finding out like, all the craziness that's going to be happening with this trial. But the most important thing to remember is the people that are judging Alex Jones are fellow Texans. And the jury pool was composed of other Texans in fucking Travis County.
I don't
Yeah.
think
So
Trust me, the most difficult thing is not going to be finding individuals that are able to that actually believe that monetary compensation is a useful tool to to reward people for damages that have been caused to them. It's going to be convincing people that Alex Jones was actually wrong. Anyways, a jury selected from a jury selected from a pool of more than 100 Travis County residents was impaneled in the case of Heslin versus Jones, first of a series of lawsuits filed nearly 4 years ago against Jones by the families of children killed at Sandy Hook Elementary School in Newton, Connecticut in 2012. 10 years later.
yay! It only took 10 years to finally have someone say, like, hey, he should probably pay for what he said. Huh?
America, the land of the lawsuit. The jury won't be there to determine whether Jones defamed the families by claiming that the massacre in which their children were murdered was a hoax, quote, completely fake with actors, with inside job written all over it, end quote.
Honestly, like, the spirit of posting that we need to go back to for 2012. Like,
Libel?
imagine how wild.
just
you
blatant
had to
libel.
be. Yeah, just like watching a mass shooting occur, the worst in American history, and then immediately going, all right, here's my ankle. It's all fake. They're all actors. Inside job, FEMA camps. We're all going into them. Buy my nutritional supplements. Because that's what it's all about, is buying the goddamn survival gear. That's all it is for him. That's what it comes back to.
Get on survival gear. That's right. It's PEDs, but for surviving.
It's piss.
It's my piss. The jury won't be there to decide whether Jones, by making that claim, intentionally inflicted emotional distress upon the families, because these charges have already been settled. Of course, rather, the jury will determine the damages Jones will owe the families, both compensatory damages for their losses because of the defamation and emotional distress they suffered, and punitive damages which are intended to send a message of disapproval for his years of making false statements about the massacre.
The decade that he got away with it and said, yeah, they're all fake. They're all not real.
Mr. Jones, you stand accused of manipulating large portions of the populace into completely irrational and unsafe behavior. You stand accused of libel. Your sentence is, come here, you little scamp. Let me just show you what for.
See, I have an issue right now because I feel myself starting to get sick, or rather, I've been fighting off being sick for like the past week and a half.
Just take some
So my
supplements.
voice is slipping into like the Alex Jones fake gravelly territory.
I tell you, these people, they are demons.
The one thing that we need to remember how to focus on is that you basically always sound like you got a piece of a metal marble bouncing around in the back of your throat while you're talking to him. That's the thing that you need to focus on.
You're trying to not swallow it, but you're also trying to keep it out of your throat.
It's basically like constant acid reflux the entire time.
God, I can't. Give me a second. My acid reflux is kicking in. No, we gotta keep going. All right, I'll keep going.
Cuban doctors.
I'm a man.
They heal his.
I'm an
human.
explorer. I'm human, and I'm coming. I'm coming so hard.
No, see, you're just like yours is too husky. You're like if Alex Jones did like a couple of pull-ups and was trying to pick up babes.
It's Alex Jones as he talks in that promo with his shirt off, with no noticeable difference.
True.
You know?
Here in nature, we've really gotta see things through. That's why I'm asking the jury to all come out with me. Anyone who believes I'm guilty, and come out with me into the middle of the forest. I've got some friends from the CIA who would like to assist in this trial.
Oh, God. Well, the attorneys have spent the full day trying to whittle down the jury pool. The parties had pretty similar goals to strike anyone who was inclined to the dollar range the other side sought. Of course, Alex Jones is one of the more interesting characters in public life, and the questions in this trial are compelling enough that as many jurors seemed eager to serve as actively tried to get disqualified.
Yeah, I mean,
I
if
love
I had the
America.
chance to like sentence Alex Jones to have to pay the families $200 million, I would have to play it so cool that then I wouldn't get ruled out. You know, like I don't know,
Who?
but also you have to play it so cool that then the families don't rule you out because they think that you're pro Alex Jones. You know.
More than one prospective juror expressed concern that serving in this case might endanger him or herself or her family.
That's
No.
fucking real. Like,
No. What?
Quote, I have strong opinions about the person on trial and the people who follow that person, one said. And I'm worried about my family if we find in a way that they don't like, end quote. Another had a family member who'd been involved in a physical encounter with someone from InfoWars and required medical treatment and asked to be excused on those grounds.
fuck yeah, because that's something I think people keep forgetting is that InfoWars is Texas-based, baby.
It's really unfortunate that Alex Jones wasn't in court that day because he would have had another physical encounter.
That's right. Put him up, sir. Come on.
Come here,
they
you
got
coward.
They got him in the box, okay? He's not going anywhere.
Is he in jail? Do they actually have him in custody?
No.
I want him to have to wear the anklet at least.
Ball, who represents the parents of 6-year-old Sandy Hook victim Jesse Lewis, looked to strike jurors who oppose large civil court verdicts as a matter of principle.
Boo. Boo the people who believe in that. Oh my god. Yeah,
It
like
speaks-
as a matter of principle, I just can't, be in favor of giving the families damages. Just
Yeah,
like
it's-
as a matter of principle, not that this should be the line in the sand where I draw things on principle that if children die, that maybe we should hold people accountable. No, I have a larger principle than that. Fuck this person. Oh my god.
It speaks to one of the challenges that Sandy Hook families face in Texas. Our juries are often fairly conservative when it comes to awarding damages. Cool problem to have. That's why all the corporations want to move here. Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, because
yes,
if their
typically.
truck ends up killing a bus full of kids, they have to be like, "We're so sorry. Here's $5."
During the voir dire process, which is the legal term for jury selection, and which every Texan in every courtroom, including this one, pronounces voir dire.
By the
Voir
way,
dire?
that
I don't
that
get
is
it.
Zach reading from the article. For anyone who's saying, actually, it's pronounced no. Texas Monthly, which is the monthly magazine we look at each week and report on every day.
wait, how you look at it? How is it a monthly magazine and you look at it each week?
Well, it's crazy how time works.
Do you
in
really need
Texas.
that much reading material? Like, are you all right over there?
No, I'm honestly not, but it's okay because once fantasy football starts up, I'll be right as rain. Come on, Chris Carson just retired. What's it mean for everyone's
I'm
fantasy
putting Tucker
rosters?
Carlson on my 4v4 team.
The voir dire process brought about such exquisitely entertaining quotes, such as, I don't think there is a monetary compensation that can compensate anyone for emotional damage.
Boo.
Or, I
$2
have a
million.
problem with punitive damages as a concept.
Oh my god.
Or, somebody's feelings get hurt? That doesn't cost money.
Children died, you asshole. Oh my god.
I love your
Oh.
state. It's awesome.
All
You
three of
people are
these jurors-
deranged.
All three of these jurors were stricken from the pool.
Kids
God.
die. Oh, did your feelings get hurt? Huh, you sensitive snowflake?
I hope he
Huh?
was struck from the fucking gene pool too.
There we go. That's right. I like your attitude, Artemis.
Please remember we were in Travis County, and one juror said she opposed punitive damages because punishment puts something out in the universe that's going to come back to you.
Oh, you can just smell the white dreads from here.
That's the representative of the opioid crisis.
Please tell me
Aw.
more with your sacred geometry blanket that you put on over a wall or some
Ugh.
bullshit. Yeah.
Another hypothetical that was posed: what if you think that the defendant should pay every cent that he has?
He should. All of
Yeah.
his money was made off of libel, so yeah, he probably should.
I do like that question though, because again, I would be sweating bullets and be like, I think that he should pay some, maybe not a lot, or maybe a lot. I just want to be here, please.
Oh, this is okay. So we're still in game theory. How do we get onto this jury?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so this is the victim, the Sandy Hook victims' attorney. How are you answering their questions?
Yeah, no.
So, do you believe that large civil court verdicts are good and useful tools?
if you say yes, the other side will strike you. But if you say no, they will strike you.
I think sometimes a man's got to do what he's got to do.
Just
Then you
sound
tip
like a
your
fucking
hat.
Bluebell ice cream ad.
Exactly.
Just full of nonsense.
I think sometimes we just gotta pull our pants up and tighten our
I think
belts
the
down.
correct answer is to just have a plate of fortune cookies and just read them out. That's
And
the only.
what do you think about that, jury number 7? Well, I think that in these tough times we have to say 46, 87, 91.
Oh shit! Wrong side.
On the other side, Raynal, who serves as Jones's lead attorney, took an approach that was a little more expansive. Rather than pick out specific jurors to ask about their views, he facilitated something akin to trauma therapy among the jury pool.
Fuck yeah.
Positing a hypothetical. Say there's a car accident where someone's car is totaled and their arm broken. The appropriate damages, he suggested, would be to pay the medical bills and to replace the car. And then he waited, as the prospective jurors went from agreeing that was fair to reconsidering. What if the driver had to miss work because of their injuries? What if the driver were a professional tennis player whose career was ruined?
What?
Jury candidates quickly began sharing their own stories of the time they were in a hit and run with an 18-wheeler.
Oh,
how they've
my
been afraid to
God.
drive on the highway since.
Oh, Zach, no, please.
or the time their house
What
was
if the
burgled
car was
and-
driving at 45 miles per hour towards a FEMA camp?
No, they did not just start like swapping stories in like a group environment. Like, I'm picturing it like in the AA meeting, they're all like pulling their chairs closer.
let's not even the best one.
this about me. We all have our problems.
It's not even the best one. One story was about how their father was murdered, and a settlement from the hotel at which it occurred was a significant part of the healing process.
How was this person not struck from the record before? Like, do you think that large financial sums of money can help people move on? Yes. When my father was murdered in the hotel, the settlement. Aha. Interesting. They brought out a freak show. Like, these are the people who couldn't get out of regular jury duty and were there, just to.
These are the
part of
people who actually volunteered for jury duty.
Jesus Christ. The article goes on. As a way to responsibly get a large group to engage with lingering, largely unaddressed trauma, it might not have been great. But as a technique to identify jurors who would be more likely to approve of a large award based on a hard-to-quantify concept such as emotional distress, it was quite smooth.
Oh my God! So Jones's lead attorney fucked Alex Jones in that process.
No, not necessarily. It seems like what he's doing is trying to seek out those people who have that strong emotional response. Because if they did, then theoretically they would approve this.
But
large
then they're
damage.
sharing it with other jurors, and they're saying, "Hey, this helped me." So, like, they're inherently weighting the scales in favor of giving more money.
Yeah, but that also like your goal as an attorney is to pick only people that would respond negatively to that kind of.
It is also beneficial though, because it is probably beneficial to Jones's legal team to drag this out. So
and
hopefully,
to make it where they can't draw a jury
yeah,
from
they
this pool.
never
They have to have
they
multiple
never get a
pools.
verdict. They never actually pay the reparations. In that time, he can because I mean, since he's not detained, there is no like motivation to actually finish this trial. He doesn't give a shit about being proven innocent. He literally just does libel. The man just does libel. Why would he fucking care?
He's an
Yeah.
artist, okay?
Well, that's
He's-
what a number of candidates raised concerns about freedom of
somethingist.
speech, but those questions have already been resolved.
They did not. Oh,
While-
my God.
While some of the jurors may believe that Jones had the right to say what he did under the First Amendment, the courts, as a matter of law,
The
already
government's
found
not the one persecuting him. It's the fucking families.
they
that
already
are.
found that the statements he made were not protected speech.
Oh, see? What the fuck? This is Texas. We're like, I think it still falls under the First Amendment, even if not one but two separate courts have agreed that it does not, in fact, fall under the First Amendment. But that's
You know
just
what?
my opinion.
I really like for the first time. I hope that there are not a bunch of jurors that went home and Googled jury nullification. How do you get a juror to accept as a matter of course that their own opinion on that question is not relevant, and that the only question they need to consider is how much harm his speech caused and how much he should be punished?
Yeah, which is a lot, and all of it.
The stakes for Jones are impossibly high, potentially into 9 figures. And they won't end here either, because he was successfully sued in both Texas and Connecticut by multiple victims' families. Multiple juries will be convened, each with the opportunity to award massive damages.
Please.
If I was Alex Jones, I'd be racking up so much credit card debt right now. I would be opening every line of credit I could. I would be accepting every line of credit from every lender that mailed me a credit card.
I'd be getting on every Glenn Greenwald interview.
I would be
and
subscribing
Milo
to
interview.
every shit InfoWars service.
He's just trying to.
Some of the
shill
jurors might have gone
supplements.
home and done so, okay?
Oh my God! Imagine the jurors who are like, you know what? Say what you will about Alex Jones, aka he's responsible for the deaths of at least a dozen children, but that man has some good vitamins. I'll give him that.
Oh, God. His underdosed vitamin C and fish oil complex has made me feel worlds better.
I've been drinking scotch since I was a 14-year-old, and my liver spots have gone away. It's a great time.
Oh, God. Oh, no. Okay. Here's the latest news.
Good.
The judge
good.
has
breaking
already
news.
breaking news. The judge
Dun-dun-dun.
has already reprimanded Alex Jones for speaking to the media after he called the Sandy Hook defamation trial a witch hunt during a break in the hearing.
There it is.
Yeah.
There it is, baby.
Buy his merch.
Put
Huh?
the man. How was there not a gag order immediately?
Okay. Here's my idea. You know how Alex Jones has InfoWars? What if we made a competing brand of similar conspiracy theories, but for people a little bit smarter, maybe not appealing to such like basic instincts, and we just call it Info Trek? Okay? Huh?
Isn't
Huh?
that like knowledge fight? Isn't
That's
that kinda-
that's the podcast that covers InfoWars.
Yeah,
No,
so
I was
okay.
making a Star Wars versus Star Trek reference.
Oh,
never mind.
okay.
Never mind. It's
okay.
fine. It's fine. You have to be of a relatively high IQ and watch a lot of Rick and Morty to
Couldn't
understand.
be me, honestly. I Oh, God. Between Alex Jones and Bannon, I think the only people that talk about Rush Limbaugh anymore are like leftists and people that hated Rush Limbaugh the whole time.
Yeah, no,
So-
that's accurate.
Hopefully that's what these people are relegated to after their time is over.
Speaking of time being over. Hey everyone, it's Kelton from the podcast that you're listening to right now. I just wanted to give a huge shout out to all of our patrons for their continued support of the show. Specifically, I wanted to thank Philip, Jacob, Kay, CJ, Drew, Nicole, Pizpos, Jorge, Alex, Lizzie, Broobs, Jack, The Bite Size Podcast, Rufus, Not a Mole Rat, Salad Fringers, The Brilliant Dr. Fly, Olive Lotion Wizard, Comrade Kometka, Alan S., Eli, Malwin, Tyler, Alan D., EMD, Samantha, Tim, Scott, The Warlock Phosphorus, AS Marxist, Cody, Kira, Jen, Knightley, Julian, Julia, and Dylan. Y'all help keep the lights on, the logos made, and let us know that we must be doing something right. And for everyone else listening to this, if you want to give us a couple bucks and listen to an extra bonus episode every week, head on over to patreon.com/psychicdolphingarage. That's patreon.com/psychicdolphingarage. And now, back to the show.
Well, it is time for the quick hits, where we hit you quick with the news.
That's
that we
right.
hit you with, because it's quick.
Yeah, so fast. We save time when we do it like this, you see. We're very smart, all of us. Anyways, first story. Raising Cane's founder is buying lottery tickets for the $810 million Mega Millions jackpot for all 50,000 of his employees. That's right. Boss is going to be spending $100,000 to let his employees win the lottery. The crazy things bosses will do, except giving their employees raises or letting them unionize.
Yes, in a final bid to prevent unionization, he has said that he will spend his entire salary on lottery tickets instead of simply raising their wages any significant amount or giving them more benefits.
And also, he bought the tickets for them, so if they win, actually he wins.
It feels like you could just like I first read this, I was like, he bought a winning ticket, or he's
No,
telling
he wants
them he wants. That's $16,000 a person.
Sure, I
break it down.
guess. I mean, I'm not sure what the actual cash payout amount would be from it, 'cause it's never the 810. But
No,
neither here
yeah.
nor there. This is like a play right out of like the Mattress Mac style thing, of where you spend $100,000 on what is essentially advertising, because every dumb podcast, ours included, is talking about this. You know,
You could give me $100 as a one-time thank you for working for us bonus, and that would do more than buying a lottery ticket and assuming it's just
rather than a $2 scratcher ticket. Yeah, for sure, dude. Like, also,
What would you rather would you rather have a penny doubled every day for the next 100 years, or $2 million right now?
Your Honor, would you still love me if I was a worm?
Oh God, true.
Artemis, what's your story?
Fucking Russia. They're leaving the ISS permanently.
Shit. Why do I care? Tell me.
Well, the New York.
I thought we didn't like
rent's way
ISIS.
up. But no, ever since the Artemis Accords and they privatized everything, it's just so expensive up there.
Oh God, the Artemis Accords. Artemis, your Accords. Are they gonna pack up their balls? Are they gonna pack up their basketball and take it with them too? Like, what do they have modules that they're just gonna blow up there after they leave, or like
They're just gonna put like open a roll of duct tape and like draw lines down the middle of the station. Like, this is ours, that's yours.
It's gonna be a lot easier now that the only two languages you have to know on that are gonna be English and Mandarin.
it does simplify.
Well,
the astronaut
you
prep.
say that, but China and the U.S., we actually signed something that says that we're not going to work with China on space stuff. So China is just partnering with Russia now. That's already.
Oh my God! Can you
plans in
imagine?
fact.
Can you
So-
imagine being a cosmonaut, or I don't necessarily know the term they use in China for.
Nerd, fucking nerd.
Okay, all right, for spaceman. Can you imagine being in one of those space stations? You have to read two entirely separate written languages that are two of the most difficult languages in the fucking world. I mean,
They
granted-
compromised though, and it's that bizarre. What was the language the UN pushed? Esperanto.
Oh no,
Like-
it wouldn't. I think they should just come together. They need to speak like a Central Asian language. They need to speak like Uzbek to each other.
They're speaking Mongolian to each other, like
Oh,
the
my
great Khans
God.
of old.
Oh.
Khan in space. It's Star Trek reference again.
Oh,
You see,
let's
people?
go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah. Speaking of space, though. Speaking of space, a man was arrested after driving a stolen truck to a Space Force base because he was warning the staff inside of a battle going on between aliens and dragons. Now, I understand that a lot of people think that this man is crazy, but every 1990s action movie says that we not only must trust this man, but that it makes total sense why the Pentagon has renamed the UFO office. It's all a big cover-up, is my idea. I mean, they changed the name of the office from Airborne Object Identification and Management Group to now All Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, or ARROW. So they're getting a cool name, so you know that probably some shit is about to go down. Is my
I
point.
can't wait to use a javelin to shoot down a fucking flying saucer.
Ah, man, what about those? What was it? Those giant space guns where they just like basically shoot a skyscraper down.
Oh
to
yeah,
Earth.
the Thor missile system, the Thor kinetic rail system. Essentially, you just,
The rods of God.
yeah, it's fucking.
I've always enjoyed that because that's like caveman logic of like a big enough stick, but launched from fucking space.
It's very like nerds and the budgeting people came together, or like nerds and then like Bruce Willis's team of oil drillers. Well, you see what we do.
What it was Obama got done watching Evangelion and he said, "All right, y'all, I have an idea."
Let me be clear.
Was that your Obama impression?
I want to
Zach?
drop a rod on that bitch's house.
You've never seen a bunker buster like this.
Drone strikes were the compromise.
Let's be
is
clear.
what we're finding out.
Let's be clear. Let me be clear. I am not laying pipe in college, so I am dropping pipe from space.
I just really like the idea of some like a random wedding in the Middle East, just having the Empire State Building land on top of them. Right.
What do you think the Burj Khalifa is going to be for?
God, when we finally, the billionaires are. My conspiracy theory is that the billionaires, all of their skyscrapers are actually just giant rocket ships, and they're all going to take off and go populate Mars.
It's the same. They're all for the same purpose. It's the same dick measuring contest of terrifying engineering monstrosities. One just blows up and has the decency to be gone after that.
Fuck yeah, they do.
The decency to be gone. Speaking of terrifying engineering monstrosities, apparently in Dubai they're planning to build a 75-mile long skyscraper.
Mile long?
Yes,
All
it's
right,
going to be. Is the mini skyscrapers in New York City that are like super skinny to meet like floor square footage requirements.
Why?
For height? They're gonna build that, but it's the widest. It's wide Putin, but as a skyscraper.
A mile.
So they're building a great wall of some kind.
A mile.
But it's going to be also, where people can live.
A mile.
It's the Great Mall, is what they're
They might
building.
as well build a massive. They might as well rebuild the fucking Bass Pro Pyramid, but make it twice as big. They might as well.
Absolutely.
They might as well build the fucking Space Pyramid from Destiny.
That would actually be a better use of their money.
I honestly
to build a pyramid.
Okay, now I want to make fun of a 75-mile long skyscraper because it's inherently stupid, but the idea of building a giant thing like that. What if we were to do that on our eastern seaport? Where it could be like a sea wall, but it's one of these fucking things, huh?
Well, on the one side, it's like you can look down on what remains of our country, and on the other side, it's an aquarium.
In 10 years, it'll be an aquarium. It was originally a mile above sea level, but
I mean, for 20 years, it'll be the only thing holding back the rising ocean levels. But then after it falls into disrepair, like everything in like a mall, like an abandoned mall, then it will be the only thing left above sea level.
Teenagers going to the giant sea wall to go smoke weed at the
You fucking kids, don't throw rocks at it. You'll kill us all. No, this is an issue of national security.
There's exactly an inch and a half of glass between us and the demise of our country.
They sent a fucking aluminum rod through my pontoon boat that I was using to escape.
Artemis, what's your second one?
This one's way less interesting. I like space more. Speaking of not being able to afford shit and the nation falling apart, a small town in Minnesota is now disbanding its police force.
Respect.
Yeah, not for a good reason.
Oh, I retract my previous statement.
For the last couple of years, a significant number of small town police departments in Minnesota have started both firing and having police officers retire because they can't bring in new people and they are fucking out of money. They literally spent all of the city budget and then the city ran out of budget and now it's nothing. So now
so
everything
that means no more cops, right?
No, it means now everything gets handed to the sheriff's office, which
No.
I'm sure. Don't worry, I'm sure we can trust everyone's favorite douchebags from Edina and the wider southern Twin Cities area. We can definitely trust them to police any small town community.
I'd love sheriff's offices because they're like, what if we took all of the problems of cops, but then no accountability whatsoever?
What if you could just walk? Yeah, what if you could literally just walk into an entirely random county, say that you have jurisdiction there, just fucking break every law that's specific to that city, and then just leave with nothing wrong, with nothing happening to you.
God damn. I love / hate this place.
And then imagine you said that in the most obnoxious, sorry, let me just violate your city ordinances real quick. I didn't know.
No, I don't like that.
I feel like an HOA would have more power in that scenario. Imagine breaking the law and then it's the HOA that takes you down.
Glad Park's HOA sheriff's office. No.
Even worse than that, I had a Minnesota sheriff on an HOA of a place I lived, and that guy was horrible. He used to brag about how he would pull people over for traffic violations.
Jesus
that fucking
Christ.
sucks.
Hey, you know what? A city running out of budget and not being able to hire cops, probably better than the North Carolina city that hired a black town manager as someone who works alongside the mayor because there's just a lot to do. Yeah. And then the entire police force resigned.
Oh man, now they're playing their hand.
It's because of a toxic and hostile work environment, and definitely not because of racism.
Why are all of the U.S. stories always so sucky and stupid and bad? It's why
can't we be more like Saudi Arabia and just build a 75-mile long?
Honestly, I get that the building is going to be made by slaves, but listen, it's something cool, and you're building cool shit at least. Instead of, I don't know, resigning because the guy crunching numbers happens to be black.
You know what?
My God.
That concept for that border town where they had the big sky mall that sits on the Mexico-Texas border, way cooler than the actual wall that they built.
True.
We've made it to the end of the quick hits. There are no more hits.
No more.
But you can hit us up at psychicdolphingarage@gmail.com or give us a call, leave us a voicemail at 512-402-2089. And some of you already have.
And let's take it away with a voicemail that we got.
Hi, Psychic Dolphin Garage. I'm calling to ask what you guys think it would take to be a good boss. I run a small indoor farm, and I've got 2 employees, and I do the best I can. I mean, really, they don't do any of the hard work. I do all of the tedious, annoying shit. They just kind of help me, harvest and pack twice a week. So I'm just wondering what you think it would take to be a better boss, because they're my good friends, and I feel like I pay them well. I have cash money, no taxes or anything, and beyond that, I'll give them like as much beer as they want to drink while they're working. They can bring in smoke pot or do whatever they'd like. But what do you think it takes to be a good boss? I would really like to know. Thanks.
Hey, dude. Okay, first off, thank you, of course, for leaving us a voicemail. I, of course, think that it's really cool for that. I just like a minor point of clarification here, and please don't take this the wrong way. I don't think you're actually a boss. I think you're like just helping out your buddies. Like, you're not filing taxes, and you're not doing.
Yeah.
You're like, hey. This is like it sounds like the equivalent of like, hey, help me move a couch. Only it's, hey, help me move a couch like every Friday.
Yeah.
And
and it's like you're still paying them,
which is good. Don't get me wrong. Like, it's good to pay them for sure.
And also, you're not profiting off of it, right?
I mean, allegedly, unless you're like, and then I'm using their metadata from them coming in.
Well, it's like, okay, if they're making a product, right?
Uh-huh.
If let's say they're growing something, it's kind of sounded like they were maybe growing something.
Well, something,
I don't know what other activity you can do.
Yeah,
are you sharing your drinking and getting high? I could
Are you
probably
sharing your
garden.
Brussels sprouts with them after you all harvest these after you farm it all year long? Like, is that what's happening? Because
are you
that's
going
just
to a farmer's market and selling them for $15 a head, a bushel? I don't know. I don't know farming terms. Fuck.
a bushel sounds right. I think so. It's a bushel.
There we go.
I like to buy my weed by the bushel. I think it's like 37 ounces. I don't know.
I mean, as long as you're paying, like, payment wise.
Oh, sorry. A bushel is 1,100 ounces. I've been getting ripped off this whole time.
Oh man. Oh.
Anyway,
this is what I get for paying in euros.
yeah. As
Fuck.
long as the work is pretty evenly shared, and like you're just doing some management stuff, like you are fulfilling your part of the task, they're fulfilling their part of the task, and you're just passing off the money. Like, the best solution would be if you're all getting like an equal quantity of money from this whole transaction. Like, you sell a product, or you sell like your stuff at the farmer's market, your bushels, then like you distribute it in an equitable fashion.
The problem with labor is that you're separating someone from the product that they're producing, right? Like, if you're taking something and you're sending it elsewhere, then there's like a disconnect between what you're paying someone to help you create this product, and then what that product actually goes to and ends up being a part of.
Like legitimately, I would say, like, in terms of my biggest piece of advice, it would be, don't call yourself a boss to them.
Yeah. Don't
like it's just a fundamental way to like view y'all's relationship.
A lot of it
each other,
is
so.
a lot of it's like the framing and the ideal of it. It honestly just not saying you're a boss at all, just saying that like you do this part, you do the administrative part of the task, which even administrative sounds like blah.
I mean, but it's like the equivalent of someone was like, so hey guys, like, I have a couple friends who come over every weekend to my house, and I'm cool with them crashing on the couch, but I do ask that, like, they pay for their own food when they're here. Am I a landlord? Okay, let's calm down here. We don't need to be divvying it up that much.
Yeah, these relations and like people doing shit for each other has existed before capitalism and before.
No, it is
like,
capitalism.
the
That's what all the Cold War propaganda taught me. Artemis.
I-
If you have goods and services and you exchange it for, I don't know, goods or services, that's capitalism. That's a capitalism, baby. USA
Yeah.
number one.
The question is not anyway. The question is not how to be a good boss. The simple question is, should there be a boss? Should there be bosses? And the answer is no. So don't think about it like being a boss. Think about it like, hey, I want to provide this thing to my community, or I want to sell this thing. And it's especially helpful if you're like a small business and you're not trying to like expand a big amount. Then you can just be like, all right, how do I provide this thing to the community? How do I maybe provide a little more of this thing to the community? And then how do I make it so that
How
my
do I
friends and
become
I are
the
taken care of?
exclusive supplier of this item to my community?
There will be no
How
other
do
tail
I build
to the
a
entire...
monopoly?
Do not build a monopoly. That is step one of how to be a good boss. Do not build a monopoly.
Yeah.
How
You
can
also
I import illegal immigrants in to do the day labor, then have them exported out into ICE prisons? Yes,
Oh, God.
I'm a good boss.
here, my take here, as a game master, I refer to myself as God, not as a boss. So there's also that.
Oh my fucking boss.
The big boss in the sky. You know the one. Yeah.
That's right. Big boss man.
Big boss.
Oh no, the disciples have decided to unionize. That's why Jesus got crucified.
No, the last time the angels tried to unionize,
Judas
there was a
was-
pretty big fire rain.
Noah, get the boat. They're unionizing.
Unionizing.
He took 2 out of every job position and shipped it all overseas.
A rising tide lifts every boat, but if there's only one boat, then
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we answered the part of the question. Just don't think about it as being a boss. Just think about it as watching out for your buddies, providing a thing for the community.
Yeah.
and compensating them for the labor that they are.
Yeah,
giving
that's
to
taking
the
care of your
community.
buddies. Making sure your buddies are taken care of.
All right, we have a Facebook question.
We have 2 Facebook questions actually.
Oh, fuck yeah.
But we have one joke one that I didn't include in there, but it says, "Where are Hillary Clinton's emails?" So
On my servers.
only on Zach's. So that's really good
I think
here.
I saw one in my fucking trash the other day.
I have a binder around here that surely has some emails in it.
Yeah.
I think I tucked one into
It's
my
binders
copy of
full of
Dune.
women, Zach, is what they are.
No, that's mine.
No, it's emails, like e-girls, but it's
Ah,
emails.
ha.
Yeah.
I think Bo might have referred to them as femboys.
No, keep going, Artemis. This is something
No,
you want
why
to
don't you dig that hole a little bit, buddy?
Hey, we're not in your DSA polycule, okay?
Okay, you motherfucker. That is. Hey, go to the next question.
All right, this comes from Josh, who asks, "What does building dual power look like?" And that, I assume, is like when you use both gas and electric in your vehicle.
God, theory questions. My brain.
I can take a little stab at it.
Please,
Yeah, stabby
please.
stab.
So generally, dual power refers to any source of political power that lies outside of a governing institution. So in the case of the most obvious case of this is unions. Unions are an example of labor power, and like labor power in a political sense, not just in like the work environment, acting to influence how a country, a political body, anything is working by building it up itself as an organization of like putting people together, providing resources for people, making sure people are taken care of. It is showing through creating an organization and showing you can sustain it and showing that organization has practical purpose, the flaws in the existing governing institution, by virtue of saying, yeah, fuck you, we can build something better and we can make it work consistently.
Yeah.
Yes. Good.
I think that's also like that the unionization being a tool of dual power is most certainly highlighted by all of the union busting that is also going on.
Yeah, there's a reason that unions. Well,
There's also a reason that like the PSYOP Twitter accounts are saying that like barista unions are not real workers.
Yeah, it's
because
also
it is legitimate dual power. It is like legitimately workers standing up for themselves, and that scares people.
Another example of this is when you look at organizations like Food Not Bombs, which is an organization dedicated to showing that communities of people working together can do a better job at distributing food aid than a governing institution.
What?
Which,
Come on. But how are they going to pay for all of like their executive positions?
How are we
Artemis?
going to means test this endlessly until make sure that you only get one stalk of celery per singular 12 labor hours you put in last fiscal quarter?
I'm sorry, I need to see your tax form, please, before I hand you
But-
this piece
Yeah,
of
I
baloney.
think,
yeah.
I think uniquely in Texas, Houston is one of the cities that actually has like done a really good job housing people that are unhoused, and the Houston Food Bank feeds millions of people, and that like organizations like Food Not Bombs, cities that have big food banks that keep people from starving to death are the reason why the United States doesn't have a massive problem with starvation. We just have a massive malnourishment issue.
Yeah, and it's the emphasis also is just on it being an organized effort, because obviously the thing we're trying to combat so much in neoliberal ideology is the emphasis on individual charity. It's very clear that that is not a sustainable system, so you have to show that the community involvement through organizations like labor unions, like mutual aid organizations, like hell, if we're talking like disaster relief, a lot of what the SRA does, the Socialist Rifle Association, is that they do go and do disaster response to show that it's something that can be provided by community-led organizations, not a government.
Yeah, and the problem with it being a government organization is, of course, that would theoretically be the best way to like optimize all of the funds that we could put into a single pool and then like use that to distribute it as is necessary.
It's also
But-
the state having the state has a monopoly on violence, one which it justifies by saying that there's some social contract where you have to bow to it in order to get public services. If we can do those
Exactly.
public services without bowing to the state apparatus, we have defeated it theoretically.
That kind of dovetails nicely into this next question that we got here, which asks, can you provide examples of good policing either in the United States or somewhere else in the world? And can you provide examples of countries that have reduced their need for police through other policies? Not just theoretical discussion, but actual real-world examples. In other words, are all cops bastards, or are some of them not as much of a bastard, or have other countries reduced their need for bastards?
Well, the first thing you need to understand about the police in America is that our entire understanding of police comes from two lineages. One is like the constabulary or garrison forces that the British left here in the Revolution, and the other is slave catchers. And it's very clear that what cops are is simultaneously an occupying army and a way of capturing and bringing back the oppressed of this country into the oppressive institutions so that they can be exploited.
Yeah, baby.
Policing,
So if you choose to undertake that job, if you're fully aware of and willing to do those things, knowing that those are the two main purposes of being a police officer, even if you're not like the main guy doing it, even if you're just the one writing parking tickets, you are still participating in an institution that is like fundamentally a militant occupying force designed to enforce inequality.
yeah, and if I like turn on anarcho-primitivist brain, like who were the police before we called them the police? It was the King's Guards. It was the idea of
The tax
of
man
force.
as well.
The idea of force being used to being employed to create laws, and the idea that there is somebody that is allowed to use force
Well,
is based on that
Yeah.
based on like that hierarchical structure that is not the tagline is hierarchy, all hierarchy is bad, but it's kind of like taxation without representation issue, right? Like,
Oh, hold on.
we want to have
There's the
structure.
American Menus Act.
We want to have structure that we adhere to. The question is, does all that power lie in a single entity or a single concept, or is it something that a community participates in?
It's also hard to I'm gonna complain a little bit, but also use it as something to build on, and say that it's very difficult to understand and find good examples of alternative policing, because anything that's going to be called police is heavily influenced by the American policing system.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
our idea of American police is exported to other countries so that they are also highly militarized.
Literally, CPAC Israel, CPAC Korea, CPAC Japan.
Well, yeah,
It all comes
the
together.
The NYPD has naval vessels, and they go abroad to teach the military of Israel how to do military operations as a city's police force.
Brooklyn battleships are teaching Netanyahu.
They're destroyers,
the right
actually.
way.
Come on.
Fine. Fuck the alliteration.
They're for sinking
point.
submarines. There's your alliteration, bitch.
Yeah, and it's very like we can't separate you can't really separate the idea of policing from the era that it exists inside of. And like, even if you go back, like Artemis was saying at the beginning of this question, like even one step backwards, it's the constabulary or the garrison, and it's like neither of those are constabulary, the garrison, slave catchers. Like none of those are good, right? And so we can't build these things into a better form, a nicer, less racist form of them, because
answer,
in North Carolina the cops will just fucking quit if they're not happy. And then like, what's the alternative? The alternative is to build a dual power system.
Well,
where you do any sort of community, community protection, community defense, and community intervention.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Community.
And it's also a massive way of de-stressing that job, so it's not like just the enforcers of the entire system. And so instead it's like you have some people that make sure people don't get into random brawls on the street. You have some people who like, maybe if there's an event where they're worried that
bouncers are a great example,
and bouncers are a lot better at working with people.
Yes, literally. The bouncer system is a great thing that I would point to as like, what's an alternative? A fucking bouncer.
Roadhouse.
Everybody knows and loves.
Roadhouse is the alternative.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, violence is bad, and I don't really want to fight people all the time. But like, if there's somebody that is, that is into that, and like, boys will be boys or whatever. That is into that, and that's just kind of what they're good at, then that's what they're fucking, yeah, absolutely.
I like it.
Are UK cops a little bit better than US cops because they don't walk around with guns on them?
That is a big.
But that's like you've taken like
the thing that they go for immediately out of their hands.
You've taken that out of their hands, but now they're out there like stopping you for carrying a butter knife with you because you're making sandwiches at work or something.
And
I don't know.
That's another thing, is it's how the enforcing arm of a system works, and the level to which it is a moral thing to participate in is very dependent on what system it is enforcing. Mm-hmm. And in the case of America, there is no way in which you can enforce this system by your own intention, or benefit from enforcing the system that would not like make you a bastard.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And like, that doesn't mean you're necessarily entirely a bad person, but that's morally like it's morally a pretty bad choice.
That you're a bad person.
People become a cop or a soldier out of economic desperation.
You can be dumb and bad, and then you can get smart and good. Like, get good is my philosophy.
Listen, capitalism makes bastards of us all.
Indeed.
The answer is to not have bosses, not participate in a shitty state system, and
hire
not
Patrick
fucking
Swayze
have
as Roadhouse.
cops.
True. Yeah, I don't think that there's also like a perfect system out there. Excuse me.
Yeah, I mean, even
I don't think
Patrick
there's a perfect
Swayze
system.
was hitting on the chick from Dirty Dancing. Problematic age gap there. So.
Yeah, I don't think there's a perfect system out there. I mean, you can research historical systems. You can look at, like, you know, what are purportedly communist countries: China, Cuba, Vietnam, the
North
big three.
Korea.
North Korea, and see what their policing practices are, and see if you agree with it. Like,
Check out
you
the
know,
policing practices of all
I
of
only-
the countries at CPAC. Good starting point right there.
What's the PNK? The oh God, what's the People's Army?
PLA?
Is it PLA?
People's Liberation Army? What are you going for?
Oh God, I can't remember the name of the ANCOMs that have.
Oh, no. That's not PLA, but...
No.
We'll find it. We'll get there.
Artemis, you know what I'm talking about?
Who are you?
They're like ANCOMs, the YPG.
Oh,
That sounds more familiar.
you mean Rojava?
Yeah, the People's Defense Units.
Yeah, it's essentially just like conflict negotiators, and like maybe one or two of them as a rifle. It's difficult to translate though, because that's literally in a war zone.
Yeah. That's the problem, is that there's not like a perfect example
The
with
big
like
thing is,
proven
like,
history and like
Yeah,
all this
it's
stuff.
it's splitting. Honestly, it's split it into like 3 tiers, where your basic level is some like a counselor, like a camp counselor, or like a psychiatric help person, or any conflict negotiator shows up to your house alongside like a your usual 911 services. And then like your next level is, hey, people are punching each other, maybe like send the guy with,
St. Patrick
at
Swayze.
worst a taser, which even that's kind of fucked up. And then like if there are reactionaries like shooting people, maybe then you send in your like what in YPG would probably be a militia unit. But
Fine.
I
we
like
don't,
that-
we
I
don't,
like
we
that-
shouldn't
I like
LARP
that-
militias.
I like that you just know this. Look, you should base your thoughts about community participation and conflict resolution in how you deal with shitty roommates. There you go.
Hey,
In my case,
listen.
get a single. Move to a small shack in Montana. Don't speak to anyone.
There you go. She phones in once a week, on her radio.
Just to
for
promise
the
I'm
show.
not learning any math.
Fuck yeah. Well, if you want to hear more of our hot takes, then you can find us on our Patreon episode.
Yeah.
We put them out weekly.
Yeah.
Check us out at patreon.com/Psychic Dolphin Garage.
Yes, please. That's where we're going to be hopping off and going to right now. Also, please feel free and leave 5 stars on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, whatever the fuck kind of streaming that you got going on. Pandora, Amazon Music. I don't know. I'm going to get real weird, real obscure with it. I'll keep finding new ones. It's okay. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Solidarity, all in together for the clarity. Solidarity, to each according to his needs.